God's love is just and righteous. I want you to be aware of something, a false teaching that has come in. And the teaching goes something like this, Because God is love, everyone will finally be saved. That's the teaching. God is love. Surely God will not send anybody to hell. God is love. He will save everybody. Why? Because God is love. That's the teaching. Do you know what this teaching is called? Universalism. That's a false teaching. There are all sorts of false teaching in the church today. There are all types of false teachers today who are teaching all sorts of things. The Bible does not teach universalism. I don't have time to explain to you, but the Bible does not teach universalism. In fact, the Bible speaks about hell. The Bible speaks about hell. We know that people are going to be saved, but also we know that there are people who are not going to be saved. Please listen, we need to keep in mind that God has different attributes. God is love, but God is also just. God is love, but God is also holy. God is love, but God is also righteous. And because God is just, and because God is holy, He has to punish sin. Therefore, not everyone is going to be saved, though God is love. I'm going to say something to you I don't want you to forget ever. God's attributes, they work together and not against each other. So all the attributes of God, they work together in harmony and they're not working against each other. Very important to keep in mind. Otherwise, we'll get sidetracked. The attribute of love will work together with the attribute of holiness and the attribute of God's justice. Because God is love does not mean that God will overlook His justice. So all the attributes of God, they work together. That's what I told you before, that even when God judges, He judges in love. All the attributes of God, they work together, not against each other. So universalism is wrong, because what universalism does is takes one attribute of God and they major on that attribute of God, ignoring the other attributes of God. You can't do that. God has different attributes, and all the attributes of God, they work together in harmony. Please keep in mind, otherwise we'll end up with wrong teaching. The attributes of God, they work together in harmony.